I'm not gonna lie, lads. I don't know. I don't want to do this. Genuinely, I don't. Roma 1, Leicester 0. Leicester knocked out of the Europa Conference League. Now, if Roma played us off the park and played unbelievable, I'm not gonna lie, this one was Vicid LCFC SP just put out at the moment, going, it's bad for mental health. This feels bad. This feels so bad. This is a semi-final of a European competition. I wanted the team to be up for it. I want them to do something. Can you say that Roma played us off the park? Can you say that Roma really went out of their way? And I go, fair credit, they beat us at every aspect. No. And this is what we were waiting for. We were waiting for a performance where we turn up. Didn't come. Never came. Genuinely never came. And it's just like, you don't change things. Okay, look, they can score from. We know Schmeichel's glued to his line, and that was a good header by Abraham, who had a great game. But we didn't do anything. Can you honestly say a moment where we played some nice football, put a ball in, and the keeper had to make a magnificent save? Magnificent. No. Not like, oh my God, that was unbelievable save. No, we played it forwards and backwards and to the middle. And Roma just sat back and go, we'll take this all day. We will sit here and take this all day. Chrissy in the chat. Thank you, Chrissy, for joining. What can I say? We have more possession, did less with it. Exactly. We played all this possession ball, and what did it do? It's just the thing is, we wanted Europe 3 years in a row. It's not going to happen. But back-to-back Europa League and Conference League a little bit. So reach the Final Four. We might look at this and go, do you know what? We'll take a semi-final. We reached the semi-final. We reached the quarter of the Champions League in 2017. Yeah, 2017. But it just felt too easy for Roma. It felt like Roma were just there, and they're like, every time we had the ball, we'd break forward. I remember in the second half a lot more, when Kelechi and Nacho would get this ball on this little pocket of space, pass it back, and the Roma was like, cool, we got this, no problem. I think going to Roma, we needed to have everybody on at least 8s out of 10s today. We needed every single player on that pitch needs to put an 8 out of 10. And I can't say we did. I know there's going to be lots of pauses, but I'm just all over the place. Not in terms of emotion, just I don't know how to tell you guys what we're going to do, because Roma were a tough team, but they didn't play amazingly. They parked the bus, they waited for the counter, and we just didn't exist at times. We didn't exist. And yeah, Ethan's playing CDM. He was playing on that left wing, and we wanted 2 strikers. The tactics did kind of work second half, but did it really change? And the worst thing is, we've seen performances like we did against the PSV game. We were buzzing, going, wow. And we had a full panel, 5 people on here going, how fantastic we were. And we performed like that to this game. We were better in the second half, but that doesn't say much. We had 0. We had our first shot on target, I think, in the 78th minute. And I know Roma are a defensive team. We changed it up. I'll put one in the comments because I don't want to go into individuals. Triangles are fine if it's going to lead to something. But did it lead to anything? Any points? Not really. Kelechi had a shot from outside the box at 82nd minute. Kind of powerful shot straight at the keeper. Maddison had one in the 78th minute. First shot on target. We were better second half. We need to push and break them down. Vardy, we know, is just coming back from injury. And he didn't really get any of the ball. KDH was working hard. Taking him off of Perez. Did Perez really change? Yeah. Leicester City Helling supporters are in. Salute to you all. They made it. The Greek Foxes made it all the way to Rome. So congratulations for you guys. And yeah, greetings from Italy. So fantastic to hear you guys, and thank you for coming on. Let me know your perspectives. If you want to join, let me know, and I'll send you the link as well. It'd be lovely to have your perspective from there. And you're saying that not the fans here. Yeah, that's actually a moment to mention as well. Mourinho waving, wholesome moment, fantastic legend. Speaking of legends on the show, we have Akash joining from India. Akash, what have you got to say, my friend?
Oh, first of all, very, very heartbroken right now because, you know, it's not the defeat that hurts you, it's the lack of effort, and which
Yeah.
was prevalent today. So I felt like, we had a lot of things not sticking for us in this game, and that was really hurtful to see. And there was hope until the very end, but ultimately nothing came out of it. And as you said rightly, the implications will be huge. I don't know how long we'll be out of Europe now. And it was so close, just one match, and then a final was waiting for us.
And the goal was scored, I think, in the 11th minute. That's enough time to get back into the game. At halftime, I was confident that we could. And the fact is, we upped our levels, but we didn't really do anything that really challenged their backline or their defense. And I think going to Roma, I think you were saying it was a noisy ground, it was a hard ground to play in. It was going to be tough. However, everybody needed to be on at least an 8 out of 10 today. And I genuinely think a few players were, and the majority weren't.
Again, I mean, I didn't see anybody to get that much of room to, impact the game. I saw our player being closed down, play relatively back behind the halfway line, and in the final third, there was absolutely nothing for a long, long time. I think 75th till 75th minute, we didn't have a shot on target, which was very, very concerning. We thrive on counter attacks, but this happened in the first game as well, where we were very lucky to get that one goal in back at King Power, because whenever you give Roma that edge of scoring first, not even Roma, any Jose Mourinho side, you are at the risk of getting trapped in his parking the bus tactics, and that's exactly what happens. Also, the referee and other plenty of other stuffs didn't do us any favor either.
I mean, yeah, you talk about the ref. It was just awful refereeing. And I'm not blaming that for the reason why we lost, but it's something to just add on as well. The referee was shocking at times. Basic things you would get right all over the pitch. Terrible. You're right. And yeah, I mean, the referee, it almost feels Mickey's in. These boys blatantly cheating, and I think another point as well to kind of come on to. We'll come back to the referees because it was just pants. Chester's put in as well. Not surprising, we lost from a corner. We had a great journey, so fair play to us that. We might see it in the future, but for now, we're really in a not a great part. However, the fact that we lost from a corner, 1-0, 11th minute, and then didn't come in, kind of sums up our season so far, Akash, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, speaks volumes about it. That has been the one single problem that we have been dealing with the whole season, and it's poetry in motion. We go out in the last game of our European campaign in the same way that I think started with our first, and it has been recurring, and it has gone to a point that we can't tolerate anymore. Even if we don't solve the issue, I think it's been persistent for a long, long time, and I wouldn't be shocked if this existed in the next season as well. It carried over because we are very bad at finding solution right now.
Hmm. And it's the same problem. Again, we did change it, but we didn't really do anything to really challenge them. I mean, the most challenge. I mean, Wesley Fofana put in a good shift. I could say credit to him a little bit. James Madison was trying to create something, and then it just all kind of fell down. In the first half, at least, I thought the fullbacks would be a lot more in the game as what they were. James Justin was trying, but it didn't seem like anybody was really on his level at times. I think it was flat for a long period of time. The tactics were play into Jose's hands at times. That's what it felt like, and it wasn't a good match to really end our season, end our Europa season.
Definitely not. I think a very good point that you make is also a contributing factor to another point that I'm going to bring in, that in that flank where James Justin was trying, there was no output in the forward line from Harvey Barnes. He was completely shut off in this game.
Hmm.
Madison was in the control of the midfield. There was not much help from Kieran Roosberry Hall or Tielemans either. They were really struggling to make any kind of passes, and their stitching of passes was absolutely atrocious. But I saw Lookman try, Ricardo Pereira try some moves, but nothing stuck on the wall eventually. And James Madison was alone. He was alone. He was left out, singled out, and nothing was penetrating. Vardy was trying more than most, but obviously those things were not enough. And until the end, the same problems existed, and Roma were just too good for us in this occasion.
They were. They were too good for us, but also we made it too easy for them as well. If I'm Roma, I'm really happy. But you've got to think if you're going to go out of the competition at a semi final, go out swinging, go out all guns blazing, and we did it tactically. That's what it looked like. But actually, going to performance, it was nowhere near.
Another thing that I was really surprised, that we should be the team that came with our claws out and reaching for something in this game. We needed to
Mm.
salvage something, and Roma really didn't, because they had a European spot secured. Now, their only challenge of the season was remaining, that whether they were going to compete in the Conference League or in the Europa League. But rather than that, their seat was secured. They had a league qualification to gain the spot, or to reach the finals and win the whole thing. So we didn't have any such backup options. So that was the only factor that really surprised me at the end of the day, that we didn't try hard enough. Our plans were not executed to perfection, even if there were plans, because I think every team nowadays go through statistics, data, and everything. But when you put Ricardo Pereira marking Tammy Abrahams, that places a lot of questions into our preparation.
Yeah. And we've got enough people to try and get onto that, but we just didn't. We didn't do enough to really challenge and really perform. And it's disappointing. I don't really know if you want to. Well, if you want to touch on the refereeing, because it feels like a scapegoat. Not that we lost the game, but the officiating over both legs has been poor, really poor for the Roma home game, for the home game and the away game. It's been poor.
Today's one was definitely weird. Some of the decisions that were, I think, unquestionably very easy to determine. A throw in particular was the center of attention of the whole match. Then, at a point of time, Jose Mourinho came onto the pitch, picked up a player, scolded him, and there was nothing from the referee. Very harsh. Then I think in the later stages, we even Jose Perez got a corner kick, but it was omitted. So uh, all the whole officiating team, apart from the linesman to the referee, everything was in shambles for tonight.
Hmm. Yeah, it really was. Again, apologies if my internet's going. Apparently, yeah, my internet's not in a good place. Just like Leicester performance, it's just falling off a cliff at the moment. Um, we could have again. Ethan puts we should have had a pen in the fourth minute. We could have. We should have. We didn't. I mean, there was no look from VAR. That it was. It should have at least had a look at VAR. Um, some of the that sums it up. Classic Mourinho. He did a Mourinho, but the thing is, we knew what we were going to do coming into the team, and he did them. And you would have thought that Brendan Rodgers knew what Mourinho was going to do. He's played very similarly his entire career. He's played slightly differently with three at the back, but still, he knows what he's going to do. There would have been a plan, and the plan was trying to pass it around the midfield, try to get it to Dewsbury Hall, to James Justin, who they didn't really create that many chances. Um, I genuinely don't know.
Most of the times, I think when a match starts, a lot of the footballing Twitter has different opinions about the starting lineup. But this time, the one thing that Brendan Rodgers got right was the starting lineup. I think that was the ideal team that you can put in place when your neck is on the line, and he did that. But apart from that, there was very little tactically that I think he fell short in this occasion. Jose Mourinho really had a mentality what he wanted to achieve, and he did that because we were vulnerable, and in the first game he got us good in the couple of initial minutes, and he did the same, then sat back in the last game. The goal was not a spectacular one, just a clumsy one, and we got 1-1 in the first leg, and pretty much same here. But we couldn't just get into the final third, and that that will be the problem that you know impacts us for I don't know how many seasons, because it's gonna get really tough from now on, because next season without Europe, where do we stand, and what transfers realistically are we speaking, because it's that time of the year again, and
Hmm.
without Europe, in this kind of a time that we live in, how many players, how many youngsters are going to consider this as a serious prospect? Because if you are going to poach talent from Europe around other clubs, they always want at least the tertiary European competition to be a part of. But even if we are not looking at that, then it leaves us with very low tier choices that we can actually attain, and that is a concerning factor when the your whole identity is disrupting the top six hierarchy. So
Yeah.
that is a very concerning matter at this moment. I want to hear more on that, your initial thoughts about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we've seen again. I've just all of a sudden seen the amount of people jump up. I think we've got a lot of Roma fans in the chat. Roma fans, let me know about how you performed today. Were you happy? I've seen a lot of you are happy in the way you performed, and I get it from your perspective or a Roma perspective. You'll be very happy with the way you performed. Defensively tight at the back, Toby Abraham doing some business. I think somebody put in Ethan put in Pellegrini played phenomenally well at times overall. And one thing again, so I think Roma again, Akash, give them credit. Roma deserved to win that game overall. They did what they needed to do. It just felt like we made it too easy for them.
Definitely, Roma had, I think, one of the best crowds and home
Oh,
atmosphere I have
phenomenal.
seen in the Conference League by far. It was phenomenal, and I was really happy to see, passionate football, the ultras coming in, and it was just a spectacle all around. And the place to do it is obviously Rome. Yeah,
Mm,
the Colosseum plays a huge factor in that, and it was just electric, and it was really an honor to see such a match, to see such a clash between the two teams, two underdog teams of this two giant leagues. Uh, Again, a tying factor that was present in the stadium. Claudio Ranieri, I just got here, and
yeah,
you were mentioning him, and that was a beautiful moment. I think the only takeaway for us Leicester fan would be that beautiful moment when you know the the the, the thing that binds us together is that one man. That was a
yeah,
spectacular atmosphere, and yeah, they deserve to win. Pellegrini has been tearing it up the whole season. I used to follow Serie A for the first half of the season, and Pellegrini was getting goals. He was a worthy captain of that armband. Jose Mourinho really built his side into a solid foundation. I think more success is pending in their way, and if they get to the final, they got to the final, and I hopefully they
mhm,
win, because they have defeated us. So no hard feelings there. I think they should go and win against Feyenoord quite easily if they keep on their performance, and they don't do at Leicester. So fingers crossed.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. It's and just to come back to your point again to cheer me up a little bit. The bit where Claudio Ranieri came in, and it was so nice to see the whole crowd, again, as you saying, the whole crowd unite to get behind that one man that achieved both clubs, especially with Leicester and what he did with Roma, so much success, and to stand up and him and just on the verge of tears. That for me was special, and that was probably the happiest I've been in the entire match because yeah, it was what we it was the only positive thing really. I think even Matt Piper I've seen on BBC Radio Leicester put, I'm proud of the team, but the side we put out, I thought we'd do more. I don't think we played well enough tonight. And Matt Piper is one of the most positive Leicester City fans out there. We didn't do enough to win, and so frustrating. It's just there's so many things there that I want to say, but I don't know. Is there any bit you want to touch on? Again, the defending was decent at times, but there's nothing really to do. I mean, Abraham had a great game, took them through single-handedly to that final.
Tammy Abraham is a steal and bargain buy for Roma
Mm,
from Chelsea. We have seen that player in our league. We have faced him several times, and I think there wasn't enough room for him to flourish in this Chelsea squad because big money signings like Lukaku or Timo Werner was always going to be a thorn in his way. So
hmm
he did a remarkable job. You see players like Kevin
Yeah.
De Bruyne, Mohamed Salah do similar kind of job, and they are a star now in their own merit. Tammy Abraham should be right up there if he pulls this effort in successive seasons. I'm very happy as a footballing fan to see Tammy Abraham do well in a league that is so defensively adept. And it's in the end of the day, you have to appreciate Jose Mourinho builds stars out of mediocre players, and he did that with so many players that we think are the stars of today. So that man can do remarkable things with a short budget than other big star-studded clubs, and he has done it over and over again with Porto, with Inter Milan. So he is the best thing that they got.
hmm
Hopefully, we do something similar in Europe in the future, but definitely not in a few years.
It might be. It's definitely not next season. I mean, I think mathematically we're out, so we will have to see. Again, this is a really good point by Ethan. Again, credit to Ethan, but Top was at the game. What is going through his head in terms of the players, in terms of the mentality, in terms of the manager, in terms of the tactics, conceding from a set piece, which we know has been an issue. I think I've saw something on when Tammy Abraham was being interviewed. He goes, "I'm not sure why Ricardo was marking him." And it didn't work. But yeah, what do you think in terms of your Top? What is going through his mind right now?
I think the only solution is to spend lavishly and not be a cheapskate in terms of the rebuild, because that would be a very, very gambling thing to do. The stakes are high. Every team is developing.
Mhm.
Last night, what Real Madrid did was remarkable, and
Yeah.
still they are going to go all in for Kylian Mbappe. They have shown that they are one of the best sides in Europe. They have reached the finals. Despite that, they will improve. So there is no stopping and thinking or just placing your trust in youngsters coming directly from academy. You have to go after well established players, not just the players who have been forgotten or you are getting on a bargain. You have to spend your pockets this time, because a remarkable thing like 2016 is never going to repeat again in this kind of footballing situations. It was an anomaly, it will be an anomaly, and maybe in the next 100 of years we'll see one or two such cases, but not you know not a number that you can count with the fingers of your hand. So it's it's going to get tough. Nothing is easy, as you saw in this Premier League season. Every team was geared up. Even a fully restored and restructured team like Aston Villa couldn't
Mhm.
stay up. So that speaks volumes. And we are in the 11th. We can go up definitely without a fixture congestion in the next season. We can do sort of what Arsenal did this season, but we have to be very, very. We have to have a real squad depth. and really some good players. And the lack of leadership has been concerning because only Kasper Michael shouting behind from the back really doesn't
Yeah.
impact when a game is in its full flow. So we need some leaders in each and every department. Johnny Evans can do one part in the defensive lineup, but then in the forward line and midfield, we need some experienced players. So I hope some arrivals are, I mean, desperate arrivals should be arriving, and
Hmm.
there shouldn't be any kind of restrictions on what the manager wants to do. If Brendan Rodgers is the ideal man to lead us, then
Hmm.
full trust should be given to him. And the only man that now can ideally do that is Top, because he needs to see this as the opportunity to build for the next 4 or 5 years. So he has to be very meticulous, and you know begin in a very meticulous way.
Monty puts in about an outfield captain. I think we need we need a central midfielder that's going to take the game by the scruff of the neck and drive us on to that next level. Yuri looks like he's going. I think that's a bit obvious now. His head might have dropped. KDH has that at parts. We need that leader captain in that middle that can drive us on. Madison has part of it. There are certain players that want it. Some players are just on the beach and it's just not good enough. I mean, is there anything else you want to mention, Akash? Because I'm pretty sure that's everything I want to cover pretty much so far.
No, there's nothing else left to mention. Just the season is ideally over for us, and the Premier League fixtures doesn't matter at all at this
Hmm.
point. So yeah, good luck to Roma, and I think both the English teams are out of this secondary and tertiary competition. So West Ham gone out, we went out today. So pretty
Mm.
harsh. Let's see if Liverpool manages to do something for us, but apart from that, nothing.
Yeah, I think that's it. Again, Akash, thank you for jumping on so late. I know it's very late for you or early morning for you at the moment. So I appreciate you jumping on so late. If you make sure, again, we're going to jump on to Leicester Die TV for a bit. So if you're watching this, go over to his channel. You'll see me there doing a little bit of commentary. Thank you to Akash. Again, his link in the description if you want to find his Twitter and follow him there. Apart from that, everybody, like, subscribe. We're back against after the Everton game. See you all then. Like, subscribe. See you later. Goodbye.